The idea behind the Nomad in general was creating one of these great hotel bars of the past that you would read about in New York in the turn of the century, like the Algonquin or the Oak Room, that don't really exist in that way anymore. So we wanted to create a place that was for the community, but it was also for people staying in the hotel, a place that every single person came in and felt comfortable. My name is Leo Robicek, and I'm the bar director for Make It Nice, 11 Madison Park, The Nomad in Vegas, New York, and LA. I think what we do is very unique in that we do craft cocktails in a really high volume. We really based our cocktails off of classics. We tried for most of them to be crowd pleasers. We really look into an inspiration from seasonality. We change our menu every 3 months, depending on the season and depending on the place. In creating new nomads, it obviously still needs to feel like a nomad. It needs to be a nomad. So when coming to LA, we knew that we wanted to stay true to what the Nomad brand is.
One of the things that we were really curious to see kind of emerge out of creating this kind of transporting a New York idea into LA was seeing what parallels between New York as an urban environment, what parallels between downtown LA as an urban environment.
Ideally, we are not just a clone of New York that happens to be in Los Angeles with a brighter building and different color scheme, but also something that is filtering back into New York so that we are all growing together.
It's really about keeping the integrity of what Nomad is, but then also finding that right balance between what is Nomad in general and then what does Nomad LA mean. When we first got here, a lot of the cocktails were definitely based out of New York. And then as we spent time, as we went to the farmer's market, we really started integrating a lot more of what LA has to offer. You're used to working with certain ingredients, and then you get here and the ingredients are different. Thankfully in LA, a lot of the ingredients were different in a great way. The produce over here is exceptional, the herbs, the greens, the citrus. For us, it's really about investing in the community, investing in our own backyard, and really sort of feeling what LA is about, and then infusing that into our cocktails.
We have the Giannini bar downstairs, which is very classic.
Giannini bar in our main dining room is an outgrowth of that Nomad bar experience. It's darker, it is more classic, it is more culinarily driven. It's meant to pair up with dinner, but also be a night out, so the bar energy can spill into the rest of the dining room.
And then we have the rooftop.
For us, we're really inspired by seasonality, but we're also really inspired by our surroundings. So when you're at the pool, we love this idea of it being transportative. You go upstairs and there's this 360-degree view of downtown LA that's pretty rare. And you see the beauty of the mountains and you see the beauty of LA, and you're out in this environment where it's like perfectly 72 degrees every single day and sunny without an ounce of humidity.
In the R&D process, it's a very collaborative effort where we are sharing all of our findings with Nomad in Vegas, with Nomad in New York, and with all those bar teams.
When we approach a new season for creating the menu, the first thing that we do is we identify what cocktails we're going to keep. So we change most of them. We change about 80% depending on the season, but we always like to have transition cocktails that when a guest comes in, they can still see a cocktail or two they recognize so they feel comfortable. And then the next thing that we do, once we identify what we're removing, we identify what sort of categories of cocktails that we need. So is it a fizz, or is it a spritz, or is it like a stirred cocktail? Is it a daiquiri variation? And then the next thing that we do is we meet with the kitchen and see what ingredients they're going to be using in the kitchen for that following season. Because for us, it's also really important to try to be as green as we can be. Once we do that, we really work with those ingredients and we see if there's any other ingredients that we might want to use that may not be in the menu, but that really inspire us. And that's sort of the first development of the cocktail menu. Once we come in for tasting, what we do is we start with any of the cocktails we've been working on. We taste a cocktail immediately after it's made. We taste it after a few minutes. We taste it after 10 minutes to see how it develops. And then once we have that one set, or if we get to a place that we don't know where to go, we move on to the next one. So what we'll do is the following week, as soon as we get there, any of the cocktails that we have finalized, we taste those first, just to make sure there wasn't palate fatigue. Once we finalize it all, we do one last tasting with the whole bar team. We get feedback from everyone else, we make any final tweaks, and then we present it to the staff, and then a week later we change our menu. I think that what we do is pretty unique in that we serve the masses, but we do really well-crafted cocktails, and every single person that comes in hopefully feels like they have a bespoke experience.